My name is Teemu Tolonen, and I have my great colleague Mikko Rekola again with this episode. Welcome, Mikko.
Thank you. How do you do?
I'm perfect. I'm even more excited about the fact that we're going to be crunching numbers today. So we're going to talking about dashboards, growth applications, customer lifetime value. Well, some of these topics have been already kind of briefly discussed in the previous episodes, but it's so important information that we want to go kind of deeper into the growth mode. What do you need to know? What kind of dashboard views? What kind of KPIs you should have? But before we go into there, Mikko, what's going to be the tip of the week for the week 17?
Tip of the week is following. So we see this almost daily. You have Shopify apps installed which you don't use, and this happens a lot. So it would be good to go through those apps. It's not good for the store performance if you end up having lots of apps which you are not using. And then also the second side, which comes as a surprise for many merchants, is that if you have paid apps, you end up billing monthly subscription fees for apps that you are not even using. Happened to us this morning for 2 separate cases. Oh my, why have I been paying for this app even though I haven't used it since mid 2018? So go through your apps. Get rid of the apps you aren't using, stay always up to date. And just a recommendation, if you have a team or you are part of a corporation, e-commerce, go through the apps with your team. So who is the merchant, who is the e-com team, go through the apps. Because we notice in some cases that there might be one person using a app, but the others aren't aware of that. So always go through your app stack with your team together. That's super useful. High recommendation there, and only install apps you are using.
Perfect. I did it last week. I removed 2 that I didn't use anymore, and I didn't want to pay for them. So that's a great tip. About the topic today, we're in a growth mode. We've now decided that it's going to be the time to take the step, have a drive on the fast lane. I want to have some KPIs. What kind of KPIs? What kind of dashboard? And where should I have the dashboard? You've been running a lot of the growth cases, Mikko. So what's your take on the matter?
Exactly. Very good question. So from our perspective, we talk about direct-to-consumer growth cases. You have your brand, you are selling directly to customers. You are being as straightforward in your business as possible when it comes to logistics, stock, all the planning. It's done digital first. So your Shopify store is your main channel to find those paying customers. In that kind of case, we recommend using the basic functions, Shopify Analytics, Google Analytics, possible Adobe Analytics, or some other third-party analytics software for the basic measuring. My personal recommendation is to use Shopify Analytics because it's pretty damn good. It's actually delivering more and more, and it's getting better all the time. But still, like many of these like heavy duty and data analyst guys are saying that it's nothing serious, but it's actually working really well. But you need to invest time in there just to learn to use it. And Shopify has some excellent guidance in their lesson portfolio where you can go through all the key benefits. However, it's the truth that that's not solely enough. If you're growing to the phase that you're selling like several millions, up to tens of millions, then you definitely need to have a secondary KPI dashboard. You need to measure what's actually happening with your business. Shopify has chosen some KPIs to sell, to like check, which are usually based on sales related activities and visitors. And that's pretty okay. But if you have really been part of a D2C growth case, you know that the amount of KPIs is much more wide. It depends on the business, depends on what kind of business you have. Do you have single item or do you have multiple items? Do you have seasonal items? is your business a subscription business, you have like separate KPIs for all of these, which then means that you cannot get them straight from Shopify Analytics. You can do some manual reports there, but they are in most cases lacking stuff. And then you are ending up to the situation that, hey, I should actually measure, I should understand, I should follow some KPIs on weekly, daily, monthly basis. Where to do that, how to do that. And this is sort of a crossroad that you need to choose now the paths you are willing to take. There is one path is that you are choosing these like more digital, easy to use, simple BI solutions, which is also the one that I recommend for the majority. Then the second path is that I will go like heavy duty. I will use those very expensive, complicated BI tools. And the reporting in them is sort of an issue because they are not in any way built for e-commerces. They are like built for major corporations who are trying to steer their business, all the Power BI solutions, etc. So you can track your e-com performance there. You can create all sort of dashboards there, but barely being like an e-commerce guy, very hands-on guy, I wouldn't recommend that path. So you end up to having very basic level of BI tools with separate dashboards that should be created for your business. And there I would recommend going to either Google Data Studio, very easy to use, simple to use. There are ready-made dashboards. There are even companies creating dashboards for them, such as Supermetrics here in Finland. Or then the second option is to use more old school reporting software such as Clipfolio, which has like a great variety of APIs where you can connect that with Shopify, with Google Analytics, with Google Ads, with Facebook, and get fairly simple, easy to use KPI dashboards. However, the usual gap isn't the actual tool. The tools are easy to use and you can probably find someone who will create the dashboards or modify the dashboards. But the actual question, Teemu, is that what kind of data am I reporting there? As a merchant yourself, what would you like to see?
Well, that's actually a perfect question. I was almost going to throw the ball to you, but now I've got it back. So, well, I was actually testing out a tool called Glue just recently, doing a trial with them here at Woolman, and I was kind of falling in love with the view that the glue.io service gave me. I was getting the basic dashboards on the sales compared to last week, compared to yesterday, compared to last year, so I could kind of easily see the trends. I could easily see the profit that I was doing. So if you have your cost per product prices, cost of goods stored in Shopify, Glue was able to kind of give me the data. And the third variable that I was interested in was that how was I doing with my paid ads and my email marketing. So I was having a live view after I attached my Google Analytics, my Facebook Business Manager, and my Klaviyo account to Glue. I was actually seeing what I'm doing. So basically, I was looking at the one-page setup where I could see my sales, I could see my profit, and I could see the performance of my ad and the performance of the ad spend versus the profit that I was making was kind of my 101 in business mathematics. If the profit per day is bigger than the spends that I'm putting into my ad and the other costs that I have in my business, I was feeling pretty happy about it. But this is my 101. So you've done more of these cases. What kind of KPI should we be looking at, Mikko?
Yep. So Glue is an excellent option. It's sort of like more holistic view to the whole e-commerce analytics, which is a software that does the whole trick. But if you are still like willing to do some of your own, or you want to do manual stuff, or you even want to build reports there, then usually you are looking at a certain selection of KPIs, depending on your business, of course. But in D2C, like the first thing is that you should sort of like measure sales, but the sales doesn't show you what's behind those figures. So then you should look at sales frequency. Am I getting more or less purchases in a time window? What's the ratio between new customers and returning customers? And then all the KPIs that are related to the average order value, and just in general, like the combinations or combos you're selling. Those are pretty interesting, especially if you are selling like rather inexpensive items where you need to manually try to increase the average order value, which happens, to be honest, to the most of our clients. So those are pretty much the KPIs you want to follow. And then about the sales, I would like to point out that the majority are measuring sales in very funny ways. They are looking at daily sales figures and trying to analyze that. Am I doing good? Am I doing wrong? Oh no, I had 0 sales day. What's wrong? Now let's change everything. No, that's not the way to do it. If you look at like e-commerces, it's completely okay, and it's in the nature of the e-commerce that you have spikes. You have traffic spikes, you have sales spikes. So then you should look at like longer term averages. As Amazon taught us like long time ago, they were looking at rolling 7 days, rolling 14 days, rolling 25 1 days. So you should find a reporting model that actually helps within your business. So it's completely okay that you are getting like spikes, but the only thing that really matters is that how is my performance during the last 7 days, upcoming 7 days, and how has that then like changed when time is running further. So that's sort of a basic thing, at least some KPIs just to add there. And then a thing that the majority are looking for, which actually Shopify Analytics is still lacking, is all the demographics data. So male, female, what age, stuff like this. This is pretty relevant for everybody who is doing like B2C e-commerce, and especially if you are doing lots of paid marketing, you want to make sure that you are showing the ads to the right persons. And then if you're doing like email newsletters, email automations, you want to make sure that the content is relevant. So then you can add their carefully chosen demographics data. And then just like as the final comment, I know I can keep talking and talking about this topic, one of my true favorites. So as say like the final thing here is to understand that you can have one like generic D2C dashboard where you try to like run the business, visitors, sales, average order value, returning visitors, new visitors, how do my best marketing campaigns at the moment deliver? What about the SEO traffic? You could have those there. And then it's completely okay. It's completely fine. I repeat, to have several different like dashboards for different teams. There might be one for the marketing team or the marketing person. There might be one for the logistic team or the warehouse. There might be a third one for the number crusher. So it's completely okay also to modify those dashboards. So don't add too much to that basic dashboard. The basic dashboard, the idea of the basic dashboard is that you can steer the business, and then you can immediately notice if something is going like seriously wrong, which usually means that, hey, I've sold out, I have a technical issue or stuff like that. So you can react on those. And that's the key point to understand. So the basic view of a D2C KPI dashboard doesn't mean that you will see everything. So less is more when building your first dashboard.
I've got one more question about
Go ahead.
the KPI that I think we're going to be all interested in. What about the customer lifetime value?
Right.
Where can I find it? What should be the tool that I would be first looking at for the LTV?
Right, and that's like as a whole, that's like huge topic. But that's definitely something that you should consider calculating, and that's if you look at like two core values that you should know. If you're a direct consumer merchant, you should know what's my customer acquisition cost and what about my customer lifetime value. What kind of segments do I have in my store? Are they all equal? Or do I have clients who are just like giving me more than the others in terms of sales? The LTV thing is sort of like funny because Shopify out of box doesn't really support that. Yeah, it's showing you that how much sales one person has got in your store. So you can like listen and look at the clients from your store. How much money Teemu has spent in my store, how much money another person has spent in my store. But it does not estimate anything about the future. It doesn't know, it doesn't calculate what might happen. And there comes order frequency, another interesting topic. With this order frequency, we can do different kind of estimations where we can estimate the customer lifetime value. So we can estimate that, hey, if Teemu has now returned every single week, spent like 100 or 150 plus, then it seems to us that after a couple of months with this behavior, it seems to us that the lifetime value for Teemu and everybody who looks like Teemu, similar type of person, is rather high. So these are the ones that you actually want to pamper in your store and you want to find similar type of clients. Then again, if I would be the client, I've bought from you once, low average order value. I never returned. So you don't want to have more Mikkos inside your store. And this is pretty much the basics of LTV. Back in the days when I was still doing like more stuff hands-on, you had to calculate those things manually. I was doing that for one of our clients. 1.5 days, I got everything done beautifully. And then the client was like, yeah, nice to know, nice to have. But yeah, let's move on. And I was like, this is your BI data. This is crucial to run your business. And do you understand how much effort this took? They didn't. Maybe they don't even still today. So luckily these days you have tools which are helping you to estimate and calculate lifetime value and all the related topics. Examples of such amazing tools are like Segments app, Lifetimely app, and even that app you mentioned, Glue, has that possibility to estimate those lifetime values. Then maybe the more relevant question is that which is the best app for my business? And even though installing an app, it doesn't mean that you understand anything about lifetime value. So there I recommend using a specialist, an agency to help you out to do those calculations. Because I've seen many cases where the people don't even after using those apps, really understand that what do they mean, how do I get more high LTV clients, and what to do, the basic question, what to do if you have those high LTV clients, how can I get more of them if I'm in a small country. I've already like reached the whole category, what to do next. So we are more than willing to help with such fairly basic questions.
I think that summarizes the topic pretty well. So if we do a recap,
yep,
we're on the path of to be a bigger player. We want to grow quickly. So the first thing that we should do would be to have kind of a basic dashboard on either in Google Data Studio or Clipfolio or something similar, so we can kind of get the basic business data.
Yep.
Am I right? Yeah. And then when we grow, we want to kind of keep and focus on the customer data, which customers are really valuable to us, which customers aren't kind of bringing anything after the first purchase. Then we should be kind of looking on the segmenting applications, such as the segment analytics or the Lifetimely or Glue.io or something like that.
Exactly, you're on the right track. So the first thing typically is to get traction, to get any sales. And when you start to get sales, you actually collect data. And based on data, you can make better decisions for the future. And you can also sell more to existing clients, which then equals success.
Perfect. Thank you, Mikko.
Bye-bye.